The rain came down in sheets that October evening, turning the alley behind Maple Street into a mirror of reflected streetlights. Marcus Bennett was taking a shortcut home from his second job, the dishwashing shift at Romano's Italian restaurant. At 48, he'd learned to navigate the city's back streets efficiently. Every minute saved meant another minute with his daughter, Lily, who'd be waiting up despite his reminders that 8-year-olds needed their sleep. Marcus was a tall man with dark hair showing silver at the temples, wearing a simple gray t-shirt and worn jeans that had seen too many wash cycles. His work boots splashed through puddles as he hurried through the rain, thinking about the permission slip he needed to sign for Lily's field trip and whether they had enough groceries to last until Friday's paycheck. That's when he heard it. A woman's voice. Tight with pain and fear. Please don't hurt me. I can't walk. Just take whatever you want and leave me alone. Marcus stopped dead, his heart suddenly pounding. The voice came from deeper in the alley, near the brick wall where the streetlights barely reached. Rain obscured his vision, but he could make out shapes, someone sitting on the ground and 2 figures standing over them. Every instinct screamed at him to keep walking, to call the police from a safe distance. He thought of Lily at home, of how she'd already lost her mother to cancer 3 years ago. What would happen to her if something happened to him? But then the woman's voice came again, breaking, Please! I have a daughter. I just want to get home to her. And that decided it. Marcus moved forward, his boots loud on the wet pavement. Hey, back away from her! The 2 figures, young men in dark hoodies, spun around. In the dim light, Marcus could see they were barely more than teenagers, maybe 19 or 20. One held a woman's briefcase, the other her phone. Walk away, man, the taller one said, his voice shaking slightly. This isn't your problem. Can't do that, Marcus replied, continuing to move closer. His heart hammered, but his voice stayed steady. The same calm tone he used with Lily when she had nightmares. You're going to leave, now, and you're going to leave her things. The stockier one laughed nervously. Or what, you gonna stop us? Marcus was close enough now to see the woman on the ground. She wore a mint green business suit, now soaked through with rain. Her blonde hair was plastered to her face, and she sat with her legs at an awkward angle against the brick wall. Behind her, about 10 feet away, Marcus could see a small figure in a yellow raincoat, a child, maybe 7 or 8, frozen with fear. The sight of that child in the yellow coat, the same age as Lily, sent a surge of protective fury through Marcus. Look at me, Marcus said, his voice dropping lower, more dangerous. Really look. I'm a father. I've worked construction, warehouses, and kitchens for 20 years. I've lifted, carried, and fought exhaustion every single day to provide for my daughter. He took another step forward. And I'm telling you right now, you're not going to hurt that woman or that child. Not while I'm breathing. Something in his voice, or perhaps something in his eyes, made them hesitate. These weren't hardened criminals. They were scared kids who'd made a terrible choice. We just wanted money, the shorter one said, and Marcus could hear actual tears in his voice. We didn't want to hurt anyone. Then don't, Marcus said simply. Leave now. Leave her things. Make a better choice. For a long moment, nobody moved. Rain poured down between them, and somewhere in the distance, a siren wailed. The taller one dropped the briefcase. This is crazy. Let's go! He grabbed his friend's arm. They ran, their footsteps echoing off the wet brick, leaving Marcus standing there with his heart still racing and his hands shaking with adrenaline he'd been holding back. He immediately turned to the woman. Are you hurt? Did they? I'm okay, she said quickly, her voice still trembling. I'm okay, but I can't stand up. I have a spinal condition. I can walk short distances, but I fell, and now... She gestured helplessly at her legs. Marcus knelt down beside her, careful not to crowd her. My name is Marcus. I'm going to help you, okay? Is that your daughter? The woman's face crumpled. Yes, Sophia, she's 7. We were working late at the office, and I thought the alley would be faster. She started to cry, the fear and shock finally breaking through. It's okay, Marcus said gently. You're safe now, both of you. He looked over at the little girl in the yellow coat. "Sophia, can you come here, sweetheart?" "Your mama needs you!" The child ran forward, throwing herself into her mother's arms. Both of them were crying now, and Marcus felt his own eyes grow hot. "Can you call someone?" he asked. "Your husband, or—" "No husband," the woman said, wiping her eyes. "Just us. And my phone. They took my phone." "Use mine," Marcus said, pulling out his old flip phone, the cheapest plan he could afford. "Call whoever you need, and then I'm going to help you get home." The woman stared at him through the rain. "You—" "Why would you do that? You don't even know me." "You said you have a daughter," Marcus replied simply. "I have one too. She's 8. Her name is Lily." He smiled slightly. "I'd want someone to help her if she needed it." The woman's name was Catherine Wells, and it turned out she was the CEO of a major marketing firm downtown. Marcus learned this later after he'd helped her into his beat-up truck, after he'd carefully lifted her while she directed him on how to support her properly, after he'd made sure Sophia was safely buckled in the back seat, after he'd driven them to their home in a neighborhood so upscale it made him nervous to park there. Their house, it was really more of a mansion, had a security gate and a circular driveway. Marcus helped Catherine to her door, carried Sophia when the little girl's legs gave out from exhaustion and fear, and waited while Catherine disarmed the alarm system with shaking hands. "Please," Catherine said, leaning against her doorframe, tears still streaming down her face. "Please come in." I need to thank you properly. You don't need to do anything," Marcus said gently. "You just need to take care of yourself and your daughter. You've both had a terrible scare." "At least let me get your contact information," Catherine insisted. "Please, What you did tonight. You could have been hurt. You could have—" "I did what any decent person should do," Marcus interrupted. "What I'd hope someone would do for my Lily." But Catherine was persistent, and eventually Marcus gave her his phone number, mostly to reassure her. He didn't expect to ever hear from her again. People from her world didn't mix with people from his. That's just how things were. 2 days later, his phone rang while he was making breakfast for Lily before school. "Mr. Bennett? This is Catherine Wells. Could we meet? I'd like to talk to you, and I'd like Sophia to see you again. She's been having nightmares, and I think seeing that you're okay might help her understand that she's safe." Marcus hesitated, thinking of his schedule, the construction job, the evening shift at the restaurant, the endless juggling of bills and time. But then he thought of the little girl in the yellow raincoat frozen with fear in that alley. "Of course," he said. "When works for you?" They met at a cafe near Marcus's apartment, Catherine's choice, because she said she wanted to come to his neighborhood to see his world. She arrived using a walker, with Sophia holding tight to her hand. Sophia's face lit up when she saw Marcus. "You're the man who saved us." "I just helped," Marcus said, kneeling down to her level. "You and your mama were already brave. I just made sure you stayed safe." Over coffee and hot chocolate for Sophia and Lily, who Marcus had brought along, Catherine explained more about her condition. She'd been diagnosed with degenerative disc disease 5 years ago. Most days she managed well. But stress, exhaustion, and falls could leave her unable to walk. "I've been CEO for 3 years," she said softly. "I've worked so hard to prove I could do the job despite my disability." And that night, I felt so helpless, so vulnerable. She looked at Marcus, her eyes bright with unshed tears. "You didn't see someone weak. You didn't see someone broken. You just saw someone who needed help, and you helped." "That's all any of us can do," Marcus said. "See each other. Help when we can." Catherine was quiet for a moment, watching Sophia and Lily color together at the next table, already fast friends. "I want to offer you a job," she finally said. Marcus blinked. What? "I need someone I can trust. Someone with integrity. Someone who makes the right choice even when it's hard." Catherine leaned forward. "I need a facilities manager for my company, someone to oversee security, maintenance, make sure our buildings are safe. The salary is, well, it's significantly more than what you're making now, and it comes with benefits." Good ones. Marcus felt dizzy. Catherine, I don't have experience in me. Family. Sophia and Lily became inseparable friends, spending weekends together, having sleepovers, treating each other like the sisters neither of them had. And Marcus learned that sometimes the moments that change your life don't feel heroic when you're in them. They just feel necessary. They feel like the only choice a good person could make. Years later, when Lily graduated from college, paid for by the scholarship fund Catherine had established, Marcus stood watching his daughter walk across the stage and felt Catherine's hand on his shoulder. "Thank you," she said softly, "for everything. For that night. For all the nights since." "Thank you," Marcus replied, "for seeing past what I was and seeing what I could be." That rainy night in the alley, when a frightened woman had begged not to be hurt and a tired father had chosen courage over safety, had rippled out in ways neither of them could have imagined. It had changed not just two families, but dozens, through Catherine's expanded accessibility programs, through Marcus's mentoring of young men who needed positive role models, through Sophia and Lily's friendship that reminded them both that family is what you build, not just what you're born into. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is simply refuse to walk past someone in need. Sometimes changing everything starts with one person saying, "Not while I'm here. Not on my watch." And sometimes, in helping others find their way to safety, we find our own way. "You have the most important qualification," she interrupted. "Character. Everything else we can teach." She paused. "I checked on those two young men, by the way. The police caught them 2 days later, trying to rob someone else. They're 17 and 19, first-time offenders. I spoke with the district attorney. Instead of prison time, they're getting into a rehabilitation program, job training, counseling." "That's good," Marcus said quietly. "They made a terrible choice, but they're just kids. They deserve a second chance." "That's exactly what I thought," Catherine said. "And it's exactly why I want you working with me. Your daughter deserves a father who doesn't have to work 2 jobs. And I deserve to work with someone who reminds me what integrity looks like." Marcus took the job. It changed everything, not just financially, though being able to spend evenings with Lily instead of washing dishes was a gift he couldn't measure. But more than that, it gave him purpose in a way his other jobs never had. Catherine became more than his boss. She became whole.